What is up, you guys? So it's been a bit since we talked about PayPal. We were covering PayPal for a bit, for a couple of months, and then after a while, we started going back more towards Neo, Palantir, Apple, talking about some of those other stocks like Nvidia, semis, and I want to come back to PayPal now because we've been hovering around this spot for a very, very long time, and a lot of people are asking me if this is an attractive deal. So we're going to take a little bit more and a fundamental look, go over the balance sheet, look at some competitors, economic mode, look at the charts as well on a bigger time frame. And if you guys want me to do this on different stocks that you're looking at potentially long term, maybe even the next year or so, comment them down below. I can't respond to a lot of comments just because there are a lot of scammers and bots and people that comment under different things, and I don't want you guys to think like sometimes they just steal my photo. So normally I don't respond to comments, but I do see them. So please comment down below. Let me know if there's a stock you want me to do this for. And let's get started. Now, before we get into it, check out our Discord community. It's completely free. Link in the description. You guys get access to free courses, live streams, seminars, webinars. And if you do want access to all of my trades, you can go to the upgrade section. And for $25 a month, you get access to everything, all my trades, all of our senior analyst trades. We've been absolutely killing it, even though the market has been very, very crazy over the past couple of weeks. But let's go through it. Let's talk about PayPal. So at the very beginning, let's look at this chart. This is a weekly chart, so please realize that this is a very, very long time frame that we're looking at, basically from 2018 until now. And we took a major skid. So basically from those highs at 308 to currently where we are right now, the stock is down about 71% in 9 months. And if we look at how this thing is currently sitting at, we had a good resistance here, which is going to act as a good support, down around 125. We had a drop through 125. We tapped 90, which if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, you know we've been talking about this for a very, very long time now. Pushed back up to 120, couldn't hold. Now we have dropped back down. Now, if we zoom out even further here and actually squeeze this in so it's easier to see, you guys will notice that we do have the biggest basically support slash old resistance that we have, unless we end up dropping down to $25, which I don't think is going to happen. But that one is situated right here, right where we're currently trading at. And if I extend this line all the way out to where you can see back all the way in 2018, this was a major resistance at 88, we'll call it $90. Came down, tapped that in 2020 during the pandemic. And as of right now, we're trading back down here. So something I want you to note is number one, we have a divergence forming. So we made lower lows here, basically a low on March 7th of 91 and a low back on April 25th at $80. But the RSI made a higher low. So the RSI made a low initially back in February down at 15, and the most recent one has been at 30. So already looking at this from a technical standpoint, very, very good support, good divergence, volume picking back up. This is looking really fantastic. This is already looking really, really good. So I do like this already. But let's take a look at potentially where we can go from here. Probably get a run back up to 125 and see if we can push through there. But even from here, back up to 125 is about a 30% move, which is very, very good. Now let's take a look at it from a fundamental standpoint. As you can see, market cap, $106 billion, not a small market cap. Past 7 days, it's up 4%. Past year, it's down 67%. You guys already know what PayPal probably does. Basically, that it's a platform that allows digital payments to go through on behalf of merchants and consumers, and they take a percentage. They also, I believe, offer like a line of credit. And there's a lot of other things that the company is doing. So some rewards from Simply Wall Street is trading 71% below their analyst market value. One thing you have to understand with fair market value by analysts, it's all subjective. I don't believe it's below 71, but I actually think, probably at this point, fair market value is about 140, 150, which means we're still trading significantly below that. Profit margins have not improved over the past year, which is not good. They are forecasted to achieve profitability. Yes, they are currently profitable. They are expected to grow 24% over the next 3 years, which is good. They are in a decent financial position. Debt is low. There is no they do not pay a dividend, so it doesn't matter about sustainability of their dividend. Their share price is obviously liquid, etc., etc. We'll talk about that. So when we look at this currently right now within their little section, basically the financial health of the company is very, very strong compared to the amount of stock, the amount that the stock is down, which is something that I really like to see. I talk about fair market value. And if I can buy a stock that has good fundamentals and very, very good financial position to repivot or, potentially try to acquire other companies or just hold off in case of, a major economic downturn. That's something that's extremely important to me. And looking at, obviously, their other competitors, MasterCard, also looking at, Fidelity, Visa would be another one. Those types of companies are always going to be their biggest, type of competitor. So going down and looking at the current valuation of the company, which is one of the most important things that I look at right now, they are saying that the fair value of the company is 315. I do not think it's 315. I think the fair value is probably around 140, 150, which means we're still about 35 to 40% undervalued. I like to buy a company that's 50% undervalued, but to be quite honest, you're not going to find that in this market. Even with how much we've skid recently, you're not going to find that in this market unless it's a massive, massive risk, which I do think PayPal is not that big of a risk, but still we do have some risks that we'll talk about in a little bit. So right now they're saying it's trading like 70% below fair value. I don't believe that. PE versus industry. So PayPal is poor based on the PE ratio of 29 compared to the industry average of 29. So not the best PE, but still pretty damn good. I like to buy when PEs are under 30, preferably, depending on the industry, preferably under 25, but I don't think we're going to get there at this point right now. Looking at future growth, company is poised to grow 24% annual earnings growth, which is not bad at all when you look at the, basically what they're ending up doing at this current point. It's not like we're looking at small numbers here. Past performance, not really too worried at this point. And financial health, this is one thing that we do have to look at. So looking at the financial position of this company, assets 52.3 billion, liabilities 43.97 billion. So to be quite honest, when we're looking at short term, this is not too bad. I always say I like to see 2 versus 1, but that's really on the long-term standpoint. So short-term, we have more than enough to cover the long-term or the short-term liabilities, more than enough. And looking long-term, $23.4 billion long-term assets versus 11.24. That is double. That's what I like to see. I'd like to see the short-term liabilities really be down at like the 30 million or 30 billion, preferably like 20 billion, but still not the worst at this very moment, which is not bad in the slightest. It's like I said before, it's not perfect, but still at the end of the day, it's not the worst. But let's look at the balance sheet. So like we said, we can get a little bit better of an outlook here. So looking at this, we have growth, and then we also have pretty damn good situation here. Like I said, debt, when we're looking at these liabilities, debt is about $9.2 billion, which is something to keep an eye on. Now, dividend, there is no dividend, like we said before. So you're not really buying this company for a dividend. You're really buying it for growth. Looking at ownership, these are going to be your board members, etc., etc. That's your management. And then ownership, shares bought, you can see here. And then there is no insider, recent transactions. There's no major insider selling, which is a good sign, but there is a good amount of buying back in February. Overall, like looking at PayPal, I like the financial health of the company, basically because of how beaten to shit it is. So I really like the valuation. I really think that it's undervalued. My biggest issue with PayPal is that the overall economic moat is just not there. It's very low. Anybody can come in and do what PayPal is doing, right? Venmo can do what PayPal is doing. Square can do what PayPal is doing. Freaking Apple is doing and can eventually do what PayPal is doing. So it's not like they have anything proprietary. In my personal opinion, if you guys think that there is something, please do me a favor and comment down below, and we can like do another video on this and talk about it. But I don't see anything proprietary for PayPal that nobody else can come and do, right? It's my same situation with Affirm. Affirm is very, very undervalued as well, but it's like they don't really have anything. The best thing they would want is an acquisition from somebody else, but everyone can do what Affirm is doing. Everyone can do what PayPal is doing, and that's one of the things that I don't really like. They do have a strong brand. Everybody knows PayPal. I would say when I'm thinking of transferring money, like across the board, from age, like from young people to old people, PayPal is known. When we're looking at younger people, they probably say Venmo, Cash App, but overall, it does have a strong reputation, a strong brand. At this point, I think it's worth an investment. I'm actually going to pull the trigger today, probably going to buy $10,000 worth of PayPal. My thought process for this is that I'm planning to buy around this price here, probably sell if I can make $3,000 or $4,000, see if we can get a push up to $121, and then maybe take half the position off the table. I'll be up $3,000 in profit and let that ride for like the next 4 or 5 years. I think it's worth investing in at this point, but I'm not going to throw a ton of cash into it at this point. I really don't think it's worth throwing a ton of money into, but I do think it's a good valuation, and I think I'm going to invest in it today. So let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe. Like I said, check out our Discord. It's completely free, and I will probably throw to the premium members why I'm buying it, etc., etc. If you do want to become a premium member, go ahead and check it out. As always, guys, thanks for all the support. Have a great day. Peace.